The Alliance's scorn. Admiral Elena Santos stood at the viewport of the EDS Sentinel, watching the pristine white halls of the Galactic Alliance's central station grow larger as her ship approached. The massive structure, shaped like a blooming flower with its crystalline petals stretching into space, represented everything humanity had yet to achieve in the galactic community. After 15 years of membership in the Alliance, Earth still struggled to be taken seriously. Admiral, incoming transmission from Station Control. Lieutenant Chen reported from his console. There, requesting we maintain our distance. Again. Santos closed her eyes, suppressing a sigh. The same dance, different day. Acknowledge their request, Lieutenant. Maintain position at 5,000 kilometers. The real insult wasn't the distance itself, it was the reason. Alliance vessels, with their sophisticated energy shields, could dock nearly hull to hull without concern. But humanity's primitive armor-based ships were kept at arm's length, treated like clumsy children who might scratch the station's precious walls. Package from Earth Command, Admiral. Chen added. Priority 1. The holographic display sprang to life in Santos' private quarters, revealing the weathered face of Fleet Marshal Davidson. Elena, the Security Council has made their decision. Operation Looking Glass is approved. Santos felt her pulse quicken. After years of preparation, it was finally happening. Understanding confirmation. Looking Glass is go. Affirmative. The Alliance's latest rejection of our defensive technology submission was the final straw. They've left us no choice but to demonstrate rather than ask permission. Davidson's expression hardened. The Meridian Sector test is scheduled for next month. That's where we show them what primitive can do. As the transmission ended, Santos activated her secure terminal, accessing the classified files on Project Prometheus. The images that appeared showed what looked like a standard Earth Defense Force destroyer under construction, at least on the surface. But beneath the conventional armor plating lay humanity's greatest secret. While the Alliance races had pursued ever more exotic energy shields, humanity had taken a different path. They'd gone back to basics, but with a twist that would soon shake the galaxy's foundations. Each plate of Prometheus's armor contained millions of quantum-linked microsensors and adaptive nanomaterials, creating a defense system that didn't just stop attacks. It evolved from them. Admiral. Chen's voice interrupted her thoughts. The Alliance Defense Committee is requesting your presence. They're questioning our ship deployment patterns in the Outer Rim. Santos allowed herself a small smile. Let them question. Let them assume they knew humanity's capabilities. Their condescension was becoming an ally, providing the cover needed to complete humanity's greatest technological leap forward. Send my regards to the committee, Lieutenant. Inform them I'll be attending via quantum link. She paused, studying the station's gleaming form. And Chen, make sure our primitive communication systems have just enough static to reinforce their expectations. Across the void of space, in a hidden facility beneath the surface of Mars, Dr. Maya Patel watched as the final tests of the Prometheus system unfolded. Beams of energy that could slice through conventional armor splashed harmlessly against the test panels. With each impact, the quantum network within the armor adapted, learning, strengthening. Pure energy shields could be overwhelmed, but Prometheus grew stronger with every attack. Phase 3 trials complete, her assistant reported. Adaptation rate exceeding projections by 47%. Maya nodded, her fingers dancing across the holographic controls. Begin Phase 4. Let's see how it handles combined attacks. The test chamber erupted with a dazzling display of destructive force. Plasma beams, kinetic impactors, and exotic particle weapons. Every type of attack, the Alliance races favored, struck the armor simultaneously. For a moment, the observation chamber's screens darkened to protect the watcher's eyes. When the dust settled, the test panel remained intact. More than intact. Sensors showed the armor's quantum structure had already adapted to resist the combined assault more effectively. Maya allowed herself a moment of pride. The Alliance races had become so focused on energy manipulation that they'd forgotten a fundamental truth. Sometimes the best defense isn't about stopping an attack, but learning from it. A priority alert flashed across her screen. The Meridian sector test had been moved up. 2 weeks, not a month. Maya felt her heart rate increase. They would be cutting it close, very close. Send word to all project leads, she commanded. Double shifts starting immediately. I want Prometheus ready for installation on the test ship in 10 days. As her team scrambled to comply, Maya took a moment to study the latest sensor readings from the test panel. The quantum-linked armor wasn't just meeting their expectations, it was exceeding them in ways they hadn't even imagined. The Alliance's dismissal of human technology had given them the freedom to develop something unprecedented. The next few weeks would change everything. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's primitive approach to defense wasn't primitive at all. It was revolutionary. And the lesson would begin in the Meridian sector, where a single Earth ship would demonstrate just how wrong the Alliance's assumptions had been. Maya smiled as she initiated the final testing sequence. Let them mock Earth's armor. Let them dismiss humanity as technological adolescents. Their derision had become humanity's greatest advantage, and soon it would be their greatest surprise. The galaxy was about to learn that sometimes the most dangerous technological leap forward looks exactly like a step backward, until it changes everything. Project Phoenix. Deep beneath the Martian surface, the Project Phoenix facility hummed with unprecedented activity. Dr. Maya Patel hadn't left the main laboratory in 36 hours, her attention fixed on the massive holographic displays showing real-time data from the installation process aboard humanity's first adaptive armor vessel. Quantum mesh synchronization at 98%, reported Dr. James Chen, his fingers moving across multiple holographic interfaces simultaneously. The neural network is accepting the new nodes faster than projected. Maya nodded, taking a sip from her long cold coffee. What they were attempting had never been done before, not just by humans, but by any known civilization. The Alliance races had abandoned physical armor centuries ago, considering it a relic of a primitive past. That assumption was about to become their greatest mistake. Show me the latest adaptation trials, Maya commanded. The main display shifted, revealing a three-dimensional representation of their test results. Each point of light represented a successful defensive adaptation, forming a complex web of evolutionary responses to various forms of attack. The hologram told a story that would soon shock the galaxy. Traditional armor could be penetrated. Energy shields could be overwhelmed. But Phoenix was different. It learned. Each attack made it stronger, smarter, more resistant. The quantum-linked armor plates didn't just protect. They evolved. A priority alert flashed across Maya's screen. A message from Admiral Santos aboard the EDS Sentinel. Dr. Patel, the Alliance Defense Committee is scheduling an emergency session. They're suspicious of our recent material shipments to the Meridian sector. How close are we? Maya studied the installation progress indicators before responding. The primary quantum mesh is stable. We're integrating the final adaptive layers now. Give us 48 hours, Admiral. Phoenix will be ready. As if in response to her words, a new alert appeared. This one from the testing chamber. Dr. Patel, one of her junior researchers, Dr. Sarah Wong, called out. You need to see this. The armor. It's doing something unexpected. Maya rushed to the observation window overlooking the testing chamber. Inside, a section of Phoenix armor was being subjected to a barrage of Alliance weapon signatures. But instead of simply resisting or adapting to the attacks, the armor was doing something more. The quantum mesh was creating new defensive patterns they hadn't programmed. It's not just learning from attacks, Sarah explained, her voice filled with barely contained excitement. It's predicting them. Look at the response patterns. The armor is adapting to attacks before they even hit. Maya felt her pulse quicken as she studied the data. The quantum neural network they'd created was exceeding their most optimistic projections. It wasn't just a defensive system anymore. It was evolving into something that bordered on artificial intelligence, but with one crucial difference: its only purpose was defense. Admiral Santos needs to see this, Maya decided, quickly composing a priority transmission. The Alliance thinks we're playing catch-up, trying to match their shield technology. They don't understand that we've created something entirely new. In orbit above Mars, the prototype vessel waited. From the outside, it looked like any other Earth Defense Force destroyer, deliberately so. Its hull bore the same armor plating pattern that the Alliance had dismissed as obsolete. But beneath that conventional exterior, billions of quantum-linked particles were weaving themselves into humanity's greatest technological achievement. Final integration phase beginning, James announced. The main display showed the prototype ship's systems lighting up as the quantum mesh came fully online, all sectors reporting optimal neural connectivity. Maya watched as the ship's defensive systems awakened. Each plate of armor was now connected to every other through the quantum network, creating a single learning entity that covered the entire vessel. When one section of armor learned to counter an attack, that knowledge would instantly spread throughout the entire system. "Send word to Admiral Santos," Maya ordered. "Phoenix is ready for preliminary trials. But warn her, the system is showing capabilities we didn't anticipate. It's not just adapting to known weapons, it's preparing for unknown ones." As her team scrambled to compile the test data, Maya took a moment to appreciate the irony of their situation. The Alliance's dismissal of human technology had given them the freedom to develop something unprecedented. While alien civilizations had pursued ever more powerful energy shields, humanity had created something that transcended both traditional armor and energy barriers. The prototype ship's quantum mesh continued to evolve, each moment making it stronger, more adaptive, more capable. Soon, very soon, the galaxy would learn that humanity's primitive approach to defense wasn't primitive at all. It was revolutionary. In her office aboard the EDS Sentinel, Admiral Santos received Maya's report with a grim smile. The Alliance Defense Committee's emergency session was scheduled for tomorrow. They were concerned about unusual energy readings from Earth's shipyards, worried that humanity might be attempting to replicate Alliance shield technology. They had no idea that humanity had stopped trying to catch up. Instead, they'd leaped ahead in a direction no one else had thought to explore. Phoenix wasn't just a defensive system. It was the next evolution in space warfare. And it was about to change everything. The countdown to the Meridian Sector demonstration had begun. In less than a week, the galaxy would learn that sometimes the greatest technological revolutions don't come from following the established path. They come from daring to try something entirely new, especially if, everyone else thinks you're wrong. First contact, first blood. The Meridian Sector glowed with the light of 3 suns, their combined radiance illuminating the massive gathering of Alliance vessels. Representatives from every major spacefaring civilization had assembled to witness what they believed would be a routine demonstration of Earth's latest attempt to catch up with modern defensive technology. Admiral Santos stood on the bridge of the EDS Hyperion, humanity's first Phoenix-class vessel, watching as the Alliance observation ships took their positions. Each alien vessel bristled with sophisticated sensor arrays, their crews eager to document what they assumed would be another human failure. All Alliance vessels in position, Lieutenant Rodriguez reported from her tactical station. "They're maintaining their safe distance from our primitive ship." The lieutenant couldn't quite keep the edge from her voice. Santos allowed herself a small smile. Transmission from Alliance Command Vessel. "Admiral," Communications Officer Park announced. "Admiral Zextald is expressing concerns about our proximity to their observation fleet." "Send our apologies," Santos replied. "Remind them that our crude propulsion systems require a wider berth for maneuvering." The lie felt smooth on her tongue, practiced over months of preparation. Let them think the distance was due to human limitations rather than tactical positioning. Deep within the Hyperion's command center, Dr. Maya Patel monitored the Phoenix system's status. The quantum mesh hummed with potential, billions of networked particles ready to demonstrate their true capabilities. Neural network optimal, she reported. The armor is. Anticipating. Santos nodded. They'd discovered early on that the Phoenix system had developed an almost prescient ability to predict attacks. The quantum-linked armor didn't just learn from damage, it prepared for it. Alliance vessels launching test drones, Rodriguez announced. Standard weapons package detected. Wait. She paused, her eyes narrowing at her display. Admiral, I'm reading unauthorized weapons signatures. They're not following the agreed-upon test protocols. Santos exchanged a knowing look with Maya. They'd expected this, counted on it, even. The Alliance races couldn't resist the opportunity to thoroughly demonstrate humanity's technological inadequacy. Let them come, Santos ordered. Full passive mode. Let's show them what primitive can do. The first wave of drones approached, their energy weapons charging. These weren't the testing weapons they'd agreed upon. These were military-grade cutting beams, capable of slicing through conventional armor like paper. The kind of weapons that had enforced the Alliance's technological superiority for centuries. Impact in 3, 2, 1. The bridge crew held their breath as the energy beams struck the Hyperion's hull. For a moment, brilliant light obscured their view. When it cleared, the Alliance observation ships fell silent. Where their sensors expected to find a crippled vessel, the Hyperion floated unscathed. 0 hull damage, Rodriguez reported, unable to keep the pride from her voice. Phoenix system adapting. Adaptation complete. The quantum mesh has already developed resistance to their energy signatures. On the Alliance command vessel, Admiral Zextal's crystalline form flickered with confusion. Impossible, he muttered. Launch second wave. Maximum power. The next attack came from all directions. Plasma torpedoes, graviton beams, exotic particle weapons. The kind of assault that would overwhelm any known defense system. The Hyperion's hull seemed to drink in the attacks, the quantum-linked armor learning, evolving, becoming stronger with each impact. Admiral, Maya called out, her eyes fixed on her displays. The system is doing more than adapting. It's predicting their attack patterns, developing countermeasures for weapons they haven't even used yet. The neural network it's beautiful. Santos watched as the Alliance observation fleet fell into chaos. Their sensors couldn't make sense of what they were seeing. Energy readings defied their understanding of physics. The primitive human vessel was shrugging off attacks that should have vaporized it instantly. Alliance Command requesting emergency communication, Park announced, his voice tight with suppressed excitement. On screen, Santos ordered. Admiral Zextal's image appeared, his crystalline form pulsing with agitation. What is this? He demanded. These readings, they're impossible. No defense system can adapt this quickly. No shield could withstand that barrage. You're correct, Admiral, Santos replied calmly. No shield could. But we stopped trying to copy your shields a long time ago. We chose a different path. As if to emphasize her words, another wave of drones attacked. This time, the Hyperion's armor didn't just absorb the assault. It reflected it, sending the energy back in carefully controlled bursts that disabled the drones without destroying them. By the Founders, Zextal whispered, what have you created? Maya stepped forward, her voice clear and confident. We created what you said was impossible, Admiral. Armor that learns, armor that evolves. Every attack makes it stronger. Every weapon you throw at it becomes part of its defense. The silence that followed was deafening. Across the Alliance observation fleet, sensor operators stared at readings that contradicted everything they thought they knew about defensive technology. The primitive humans hadn't been struggling to catch up. They'd been quietly revolutionizing the very nature of space combat. Admiral Santos, Maya called out softly, the quantum mesh is showing unprecedented growth patterns. The attacks, they've pushed its evolution far beyond our projections. It's developing capabilities we didn't even think were possible. Santos nodded, her eyes fixed on the stunned faces of the Alliance observers. "Send a priority message to Earth Command," she ordered. "Operation Phoenix is a success. And tell them," she paused, allowing herself a moment of satisfaction, "tell them the galaxy just learned that sometimes the best defense isn't about stopping attacks. It's about learning from them." The demonstration had lasted less than an hour, but its implications would reshape galactic warfare forever. Humanity's primitive approach had just changed everything. And this was only the beginning. The turning tide. The Alliance Grand Council chamber had never been so silent. The usual symphony of various species' breathing apparatus and biological functions had given way to a stunned hush as the holographic replay of the Meridian Sector demonstration ended. The image of the EDS Hyperion, completely unscathed after withstanding weapons that could shatter moons, hung in the air like an accusation. High Counselor Vexna's crystalline form pulsed with disturbed colors as she addressed the human delegation. "You understand, Admiral Santos, that this technology fundamentally alters the balance of power in known space." Santos stood before the Council, her posture relaxed but alert. "With respect, High Counselor, the balance of power was altered the moment the Alliance dismissed humanity's potential. We simply chose to prove you wrong in the most decisive way possible." In the week since the demonstration, the galaxy's political landscape had transformed. Alliance military strategists were in chaos, their carefully calculated defense doctrines rendered obsolete by armor that learned from every attack. Weapons manufacturers watched years of research become worthless as the Hyperion's quantum mesh proved capable of adapting to any form of assault. "The Kraxan Federation demands access to this technology," Ambassador Thex rumbled, his massive reptilian form looming over the council table. "The Treaty of Mutual Defense clearly states." "The treaty," Santos interrupted smoothly, "that your delegation described as unnecessary to enforce given humanity's primitive defensive capabilities." She allowed herself a small smile. "That treaty." From her position in the diplomatic gallery, Dr. Maya Patel watched the political drama unfold. The quantum mesh's latest data streamed to her neural implant, showing even more remarkable developments. The Phoenix system wasn't just adapting to weapons anymore. It was developing entirely new defensive concepts, pushing the boundaries of what they thought possible. "Admiral," Maya sub-vocalized through their secure channel, "the latest analysis shows the quantum mesh is approaching Class 4 consciousness in its defensive protocols. It's not just learning anymore, it's innovating." Santos received the information without changing expression, but her mind raced with the implications. They had created something that was evolving beyond their initial designs, yet remained absolutely focused on its core purpose: defense. The Alliance Security Council proposes an immediate sharing of this technology, announced First Speaker Zerl, their bioluminescent patterns showing agitation, in exchange for full membership status and no. Santa's response cut through the chamber like a blade. Humanity spent 15 years being treated as technological infants. We were denied access to Alliance defense research, excluded from military planning sessions, and kept at arm's length from your installations. Now you want to share. The chamber erupted in protests and demands. Santos stood unmoved as translator systems struggled to keep up with the cascade of alien languages. In the gallery, Maya noticed something interesting on her data feed. The Hyperion's quantum mesh was responding to the political tension, developing new patterns that seemed designed to handle diplomatic threats as well as physical ones. "We will not be sharing the Phoenix system," Santos continued once the chaos subsided. "But we are prepared to offer something else: protection." The statement hung in the air like a gravitational anomaly, drawing all attention toward it. Protection. The word carried weight now that it never had before. With the Phoenix system, human ships could defend Alliance worlds against any known threat, and adapt to unknown ones. The same protection, Santos added pointedly, that was denied to Earth when the Proxima colony was attacked 3 years ago. The reminder sent a shudder through the chamber. The Alliance had deemed the colony's defense technically unfeasible given humanity's limited defensive capabilities. 8,000 colonists had paid the price for that assumption. Admiral, Maya's voice came through their private channel again. The Hyperion's quantum mesh just did something unprecedented. It's developed a pattern that, I think it's designed to protect against quantum-based weapons. Weapons that don't even exist yet. Santos allowed this information to inform her next words. Humanity is not interested in revenge or dominance. We're interested in survival. Not just our own, but everyone's. The Phoenix system proves that sometimes the best path forward isn't the obvious one. Sometimes you have to go back to basics and reimagine them completely. In the days that followed, the galaxy's power structure began a subtle but inevitable shift. Alliance races that had once dismissed Earth as a technological backwater now sought diplomatic agreements. Military strategists who had laughed at human primitive armor now struggled to comprehend defenses that evolved faster than their weapons could adapt. But in secure facilities across Earth and its colonies, Maya and her team watched something even more remarkable unfold. The Phoenix system wasn't just changing galactic politics, it was changing itself, evolving in ways they hadn't predicted. The quantum mesh was developing new properties, pushing the boundaries of what they thought possible. It's not just armor anymore, Maya explained to Santos in a private briefing. It's becoming something else, something new. The quantum mesh is approaching decisions about defense in ways we never imagined. Santos absorbed this information, watching through the viewport as Alliance ships maintained their new respectful distance from the Hyperion. They thought we were stuck in the past, she mused. They never understood that sometimes you have to look backward to leap forward. The galaxy was learning that lesson now, watching as humanity's primitive approach revolutionized their understanding of what was possible. The balance of power hadn't just shifted, it had been fundamentally reimagined. And somewhere in the quantum realm, in the space between particles where the Phoenix system wove its impossible defenses, something new continued to evolve, promising even greater wonders to come. A new dawn. 1 year after the Meridian Sector demonstration, the view from Earth's orbital shipyards told a story of transformation. Where once Earth's vessels had been kept at a distance, now ships from across the galaxy clustered around humanity's stations, their crews eager to learn from the civilization they had once dismissed. Admiral Santos stood in the observation dome of the New Horizons station, watching as the latest Phoenix-class vessel, the EDS Prometheus, prepared for its maiden voyage. The ship's quantum mesh armor gleamed with a subtle iridescence, a visual sign of the incredible changes the technology had undergone in the past year. The final diagnostics are complete, Dr. Maya Patil announced, joining Santos at the viewport. The new integration protocols are performing beyond expectations. The quantum mesh isn't just adapting anymore. It's creating entirely new theoretical frameworks for defense. Santos nodded, studying the data scrolling across her neural interface. The Phoenix system had evolved far beyond its original parameters, becoming something that even its creators struggled to fully comprehend. Yet it remained absolutely true to its core purpose: defense and protection. Message from the Alliance Grand Council. Lieutenant Rodriguez reported from her station. They're requesting confirmation of our participation in the Joint Defense Initiative. Santos shared a knowing look with Maya. The initiative, a program where Alliance worlds would be protected by Phoenix-equipped ships, represented a complete reversal of the old power structure. The very races that had once mocked Earth's primitive technology now depended on it for their security. Confirm our participation, Santos ordered, but remind them of our conditions. We provide the ships and crews. The technology remains under Earth's control. In her private laboratory beneath the Martian surface, Maya had been tracking something remarkable. The quantum mesh wasn't just evolving its defensive capabilities, it was developing new ways of interacting with space-time itself. Every attack it absorbed, every weapon it adapted to, pushed it further into theoretical realms that even the most advanced Alliance scientists struggled to comprehend. Show me the latest progression data, Santos requested as they moved to Maya's secure briefing room. The holographic display sprang to life, showing the beautiful complexity of the quantum mesh's evolution. "It's fascinating," Maya explained, highlighting specific data clusters. "The original Phoenix system was revolutionary because it could adapt to attacks. But what it's becoming now?" She paused, searching for words. "It's not just reactive anymore. It's proactive. It's developing defenses for attacks that haven't been invented yet, based on its understanding of the fundamental forces of the universe." The implications were staggering. Humanity had created something that was rapidly pushing the boundaries of known physics, all in the pursuit of better defense. The Alliance races had spent centuries developing increasingly powerful weapons, only to find themselves rendered obsolete by armor that evolved faster than they could attack it. "There's something else," Maya added, her voice dropping to a near whisper. "The quantum mesh. It started showing signs of what we can only describe as empathy. It's not just protecting against physical attacks anymore. It's developing ways to defend against environmental threats, radiation hazards, even psychological warfare attempts." Santos absorbed this information, watching through the viewport as the Prometheus's quantum mesh rippled with subtle patterns of energy. They had created something that was becoming more than just a defense system. It was evolving into a guardian, a protector in the truest sense. "Message from Earth Command," Rodriguez interrupted. "The Proxima Colony memorial ceremony is ready to begin." The ceremony was being held on the very site where, 3 years ago, 8,000 colonists had died because the Alliance deemed them unworthy of protection. Now, the restored colony was home to one of the most advanced Phoenix research facilities in human space. The quantum mesh protected every building, every habitat, adapting and evolving to ensure such a tragedy could never happen again. As Santos prepared her address for the ceremony, she reflected on the journey that had brought them here. The Alliance's dismissal of human technology had forced Earth to think differently, to approach defense from an angle no one else had considered. Their primitive solution had turned out to be the most advanced approach of all. "The Phoenix system isn't just changing how we think about defense," Maya observed, reviewing the latest data. "It's changing how we think about evolution itself. Every ship we launch, every colony we protect, becomes part of a learning network that grows stronger with each challenge it faces." The Prometheus's quantum mesh glowed softly as final launch preparations began. Across the galaxy, other Phoenix-class vessels stood guard over both human and alien worlds, their adaptive armor growing more sophisticated with each passing moment. The technology that had been born from humanity's determination to prove itself had become something greater, a shield for all sentient life. "New contact at the system edge," Rodriguez reported. "Unknown configuration. Wait." She paused, checking her readings. "The quantum mesh is already adapting, creating defensive patterns for weapons we've never encountered before." Santos smiled. The galaxy had learned a valuable lesson. True innovation doesn't always mean moving forward along the expected path. Sometimes it means looking back, taking what others dismiss as primitive, and transforming it into something revolutionary. The Phoenix system had done more than prove humanity's worth to the galaxy. It had shown that the best solutions sometimes come from the most unexpected directions. In seeking to defend themselves, humans had created something that would protect all sentient life, evolving and adapting to face whatever threats the future might hold. As the Prometheus prepared to launch, its quantum mesh humming with potential, Santos thought about how far they had come. The Alliance had mocked Earth's armor, dismissing it as a relic of the past. Instead, it had become the key to the future, a future where defense evolved faster than offense, where protection grew stronger with each attack, and where the determination to survive had led to something greater than anyone had imagined. The age of energy shields was over. The era of adaptive defense had begun, and it had all started because humanity refused to accept that their primitive approach was wrong.